All right, welcome race fans. Get ready for another Group A matchup in the 2025 Super Mario 3 Points-A-Palooza featuring Sakaali and Stewie Cartman. All right, I am going to drop the flag in a minute once I see the racers are ready to go. Um, and it looks like they have both hit ready in the room. Welcome, chat. Welcome, racers. Let's get it going. All right, so we're going to wait for the stream to sync up here. We should have the racers starting momentarily, and then we'll get a little sync up going. This is a Group A matchup. It is Stewie and Sakaali's final matchup each, and we have a couple of runners here. Now, Stewie has struggled a little bit in the points tournament. Meanwhile, Sakaali is putting on what I would call a dominating performance in the points tournament. He currently is up to 53 total points on the back of a 30-point performance. 53 points is what several runners are expecting to exit the group stage with after 3 matches. He has achieved 53 points after only 2 matches. It is unbelievable how far ahead of the pack Sakaali is at this point. But of course, on race day, anything can happen. It is anybody's game. We see the timers counting down. Here we go. Let's get going, racers. So I'll be trying to call the points as we go. And then in roll one, we're going to see the racers doing some pretty normal Warpless strats for the first couple levels. However, where the points is in 2-1, getting the early P speed on top of the big deep height is worth a point in this. If you've watched any Mario 3 content before, you'll know what I'm talking about. I think Sakaali may have just done a sub-pixel manipulation there to ensure he doesn't get the bad sub-pixel. Meanwhile, Stewie pulling into the lead because he didn't wait and getting early P-speed as well. There is a very small range of sub-pixel that does not allow you to get that P-speed, so I think that's what Sakaali was doing. Maybe he had a tech issue. I actually have no idea. But both players getting the 2-1 P-speed point. Now, the players here are going for a clip into this wall. They get 3 attempts to try and get the clip. And it looks like Sakaali got it. Stewie got it. I actually lost count there. Can anyone in chat tell me? Did they both get it in 3? It looks to me like both runners got the clip, but I actually was not able to see both of them simultaneously. Ooh, okay, so our runners coming in to 1-5, trying to hold on to this fire flower to get themselves about a 1-second time save versus powering back up later. Making through the level expertly and coming into 1-6 where they will be attempting to take the first Koopa shell in the level all the way to murder the final Koopa near the end card in 1-6. And that'll be worth a point if they can get that shell-to-shell action to fall. So the runner's pretty close together. Stewie, yep, letting himself get that shell a little bit, give himself a few extra frames to pick it up. Sakaali going for the quickest grab, wasting no time. And Stu pausing only to delay the inevitable disaster that is a World 6 death. Sakaali, meanwhile, gets the point. Stu is going to have to do some backups here. The shell strat also no longer available to him. That point is done and dusted for our man Stu. He grabs the mushroom and he moves on. We also see Sakaali getting a throne jump here in the castle. If he can rack up 5 throne jumps, he gets a point. If he can rack up 7 jumps in the throne room, that's 2 points. So you hate to see a World 1 death from Stu here. You know, we'll see how he bounces back. But that is a tough one to deal with. So, coming into the airship now, we've got both players on the airship. Stu's going to need to power up here. I assume he's probably got this fire kill on lock. Sakaali also, I predict, getting pretty, knows this fire kill. So we'll see some fire kills out of our runners here. And what's more, we're headed into World 2, and there is a point available in the first stage of World 2. The players are going to be trying to clip into the first purple pipe structure in 2-1. They get 3 attempts to clip into that corner, so most of the clips, I believe all of the clips, you have 3 attempts to get. So you can try it again. So that's what we're going to see Sakaali doing. Some stuff that is not very fast, but is worth a point. So here he comes into 2-1. Stu, meanwhile, grabbing the wand. Let's see how Sakaali handles this, what his setup is. Clearly, early hammer manipulator, and that clip goes off without a hitch. Sakaali coming through with another point here. So, as we know, Sakaali has put up the highest single point value in the tournament so far, yet to miss a point here in this matchup. And in 2-2, he's going to be going for backwards hill speed jumps. You got to neutral the controller and try to keep your momentum with very timely jumps. The longer Mario's on the ground, the more speed he loses. And Sakaali bonks and misses the point. So, opening a small window for Stu to catch up if he can get that point. Stu also getting the 2-1 clip. Seems like it's not that hard of a clip in many ways. Seems pretty generous with its subpixels and its setup. So Stu opting not to go for the backwards hill speed point. He is just trying to make up a little time here. Time also does matter in this race. The winner of the race is awarded an additional 2 points, and as I found out when I tied my match the other day, the winner of the race also functions as the tiebreaker. If they are to end on the same number of points, whoever finishes the race first also will win the matchup and get that W in the win column. So, we've got our runners coming in here. Sakaali coming into 2-3. Going to be looking for a green rocket from our main Sakaali here. And he grabs it, he maintains P-speed, and away he goes. Meanwhile, Stu finishing up the fort in good fashion. A nice 280 on the in-game timer on the fort. That is a pretty good time. That's what you want to see. So Stu pretty much 1 level behind here. Just a standard level behind. And Sakaali coming into one of the easier levels, so the rest of World 2 is going to be pretty standard speedrun-wise until we get to the airship where our next point is going to be. So we're going to see these runners, just making their way through these levels like you might have seen in any Warpless runs or Warpless tournaments you may have watched in the past. And both just kind of making their way through here. You gotta watch the Hammer Brothers. Now, you need to have the hammer. You want the hammer. You don't want the music box. So Sakaali, of course, just got the music box there. He is going to go fight that other bro and try to get the hammer off of it. Now, he might have wanted that music box. There is some routing option available to these runners where the music box is pretty viable, particularly in a race format. Now, let's see what Stu's looking at. Yeah, he's also looking at grabbing the music box here, if I am not mistaken. So we're going to see both runners grabbing both items in World 2. That opens up some options to skip certain blows in Worlds 4 and 5, and is a way to kind of even out your RNG a little bit in this category, where you can't really control the bros, but you can put them to sleep to avoid fighting extra bros if given the option. There's also a very narrow set of circumstances where you might put the bros to sleep in World 3 to prevent the dreaded runaway bro, where one of the bros runs off of the screen and really janks up your pattern on getting through the level because it affects the bridges on the map when you don't fight the bro. So we might see them using that to mitigate a bad situation. Ooh, Stewie taking damage in the pyramid. You hate to see it, but, you know, he recovers. I think he'll be okay. Sakaali is gonna be trying to turn the question block on this airship green by hitting it as it's loading in and causing a color glitch. As you hit the block, as another color palette is loading in the screen, it will change the block to green, and that will be worth a point if either of our runners can pull it off on this airship. So it's a little bit of a tight space. We'll see what Sakaali's setup is. Kind of hugging there. Ooh, that's an interesting setup. Yeah, I like it. That was, you know, interesting timing. I had not seen that setup before, but he did get the green block. And he is moving along with some more points. We also see, in chat, I see that is 2 throne jumps for Sakaali. I missed that throne jump. Now, those throne jumps, getting the first 2 is big. Adding up to 5 takes some doing. Let's see how Stu does on the green block here. Looks like he's approaching it. He's got some kind of setup, and he achieves the green block. Very, very nice from Stu. Trying not to fall behind too far, and Sakaali with a good fire kill. Stu picking up fire. Let's see if he knows his World 2 Morton patterns. Morton in World 2 is probably the boss with the highest variability of fire kill patterns that you have to contend with. We'll see if Stu is able to pull it off. I didn't see what his movement... It should have been a movement of 1 before, but let's see what he does. I think he knows him. Yeah, Stu definitely has the fire kill here. No problem whatsoever. Looking good, looking strong. And Sakaali with the first framer on 3-1. Not a point in this tournament, but it bodes well for some of the first frame tricks later. Now, as we come into World 3, the first point is going to be grabbing a particular fire flower in 3-3 without losing P-speed, maintaining P-speed for at least 1 jump after grabbing that flower, which means all runners are going to need to intentionally take damage before getting that fire flower. I believe I have seen people take damage in this level, and I have seen people take damage off of the first Koopa Troopa in 3-3. Sakaali with the nice 3-2 early P-speed, getting through the level quickly. And ending it well. Stu also getting through one of the easier levels of the game, but getting through it clean. He's moving on as well. I believe we'll see him going for 3-2 P-speed. Sakaali stopping for a frog suit. One of the points on the tournament is 4-4, getting to the end pipe in a 282 or better. I can predict that Sakaali is going to use that frog suit to get that point later, if you're not sure why. Now, Stewie's stopping in a card game. Interesting. And Sakaali grabbing that fire flower grab point. Very clean. See if he gets to the end of the level without incident. Stu going for P-speed. Did not get it. So, that's okay. You know, he's in the water, which is scary. But like I said, taking damage in this level is fine, because you got to get the flower in the next level anyway. And we see him taking damage on the final enemy of the level. A smart move, a convenient place to take damage without really losing time. Sakaali going to be going for door 3 here. Another point in the tournament. He's got 1 frame to hit up once he gains control of Mario. And he gets a jump, but he does not get the door 3 point. Wow, I'm not sure what happened there. A 1 frame jump is just as hard as a 1 frame up movement, so I don't even know what to think about that one. That's wild. Stu, meanwhile, making it through 3-3 and moving right along, marking his point. And let's see if he can get door 3 here. He has a chance to catch up a little bit. So let's see how Stu does here. Sakaali not getting any trouble with the bros there too much. No runaways. And Stu gets door 3. He gets door 3, manages to catch up on points. You love to see it. That's also a pretty significant catch up on time versus missing door 3. So Stu narrows the gap a little bit there and gets the point. Now our runners are going to be going through the rest of World 3 pretty standard, just trying to do some speed strats, get through the levels, and try not to take damage, honestly. Just try to get through these levels, try not to get eaten. Stu, sadly, of course, has missed his Deathless point, and Stu died? Where? I missed that he died in World 3. Oh no, he played the card game. Is it that he played the card game? I'm a little confused here as to Stu's route. I must have missed something. I must have been watching Sakaali's stream when it happened. But regardless, our winners coming through to the final areas of World 3. The next point is going to be trying to get a 4-1 up trick on the airship with some very, very tight bounces. And, you know, you'll see if they get 4 1-ups, they'll get up 2 points on the airship, as a matter of fact. Yeah, did Stu skip both bros? I guess I missed what happened, so I'm not sure. But Stu, anyway, skipping one of the Hammer Brothers at the very least. And Sakaali not getting the throne jump in World 3, still sticking at 2 throne jumps. Oh yes, we see Stu skipping both bros. He skipped both bros. One of them was off screen, and the other one he had to leave in the dust. A smart play, one good way to handle that situation. So he will be having to play the first fort in World 4, which is not typically played in a non-early Hammer Warpless run. And Sakaali getting the 2.41 ups. Let's see, Stu's going to go for these points as well, I imagine. It is a tricky one. Stu does not go for the 2 1-ups. Wow. So Stu just skipping some of the points, opting to play it safe, and holding on to his Fire Flower. It is not difficult to take damage while attempting to get those 1-ups. So Stu just maybe not feeling comfortable with that strat, and moving through the level a little bit more as intended. Okay, Sakaali getting the fire kill there. Doing some interesting taps on his controller, like appeared to be a sub-pixel manip of some kind, but I'm not really sure what he was doing. I'll have to ask him about some of these delays and tappings at the end of the levels. I'm not sure. Sakaali may be setting up some super secret forbidden sub-pixels. Maybe setting up a sub-pixel for a upper decker in World 4. Because another point in this tournament is clipping into the top half of a horizontal pipe and getting a glitch pipe entry known as an upper decker. The first 3 levels of World 4 each have an opportunity to do that. And so, because this is a non-turnback level, I could see setting up. Oh, he gets the upper decker! My god, unbelievable! I think we just witnessed the first upper decker manip that I've ever seen. So, Incredible. Well played from Sakaali there. Stu not able to build the P-speed. Making it through the level in a more standard way. I don't think you can get the upper decker without P-speed there. Outstanding. Outstanding from our runners. Outstanding from our runners here. So, they are still pretty close. Stu's still just about a level behind. Grabbing the ice block, building P-speed. Let's see, this is another great chance for an upper decker for Stu. Ooh, he did not quite get it. The beginning of 4-3 also has a horizontal pipe, and thus an opportunity for an upper decker point, should Stu choose to go for it. Meanwhile, Sakaali getting through the underground portion of the level without any trouble. Stu, no upper decker for him there. There will be several more opportunities, particularly in World 5, where there will be some chances for upper deckers. Ooh, Stu taking damage in the underground there. Ooh, nice recovery though, nice recovery. And Sakaali, as predicted, taking that frog suit and getting through this level, it trivializes the speed at which you have to traverse the level because the frog suit is so fast. You see him just hipping, hopping, bipping, and bopping to the end of the level, a 288. That point is free. Stu, ooh, with the fast 441. Had to play it because he skipped the Hammer Brother that had the hammer in World 3, which you saw Sakaali breaking that boulder on the map. So a little bit of route divergence here. Stu going in with the vanilla strat here. Gonna try to build P-speed. Still possible to get that 282, even without a frog suit or anything. He's having a little trouble in the level. I think he's still good with a 283 in the pipe. 283 in the pipe is not free, folks. That is not easy to do, so well played. Sakaali about to get a point, probably the easiest point in the tournament, just stomping on every dry bones in this fortress. You'll see him stomping every dry bones, and that's worth a point. Due to his frog suit routing, though, unable to do any kind of P-speed strat in that level, because he did need to stop and pick up the Fire Flower. Now, Stu fighting some Hammer Brothers. I predict he's going to fight all the Hammer Brothers in this world. Ooh, Sakaali with another non-throne jump. He's going to need to start hitting some more if he wants that point. You're going to see Stu do a little bit of a different strategy here, because he is just Big Mario. I guess that was the same strat Sakaali did, but not the standard fire route through that level. And we're on to the airship, folks. We are on to the airship. Stu taking this P-Wing. You definitely think he wants it. Otherwise, if you don't have enough P-Wings in this category, you've got to do a wall jump, which is relatively difficult in 6-9, or you have to clip into 7-6, which is not a reliable clip. So getting that P-Wing to at least avoid having to do one of those, and stomping all the dry bones along the way to make sure he accumulates that point. Stu now entering the castle as well. We are going to be chilling out in this auto-scroller for just a moment. We see the scores. At this time, we've got Sakaali with 11 points and Stu with 8 points. Not quite the halfway point of the game, but about halfway through the points. Alright, we'll see Sakaali coming into the boss fight here. Let's see if he's going for a fire kill. He is going for a fire kill, and he gets it. No problems, no questions. And Stu's still making his way through this auto-scroller. It's about a 2-minute auto-scroller. So the key thing here is to just maintain your focus and don't get too bored on the auto-scroller and stop paying attention to what you're doing. So we'll come into World 5, and the first 3 levels are going to be pretty standard. Ooh, nice glitch block from Stu there on the auto-scroller. First 3 levels are going to be pretty standard, but then people are going to be going for a glitched pipe entry on the 2nd floor of the Twisty Castle. That is the fourth level they'll play. They'll get 3 attempts at that clip as well, and you know, if you get it, you'll see exactly what it is. It looks pretty peculiar, but the players will clip into the side. Ooh, my goodness. Stewie Cartman taking unfortunate damage, ending up down in the engine room here. Ooh, got through it without taking damage again. You do not want to be going through that section. That is rough business there. So unable to go for the fire kill. Hopefully no scam damage from the biggest scammer in the game, Iggy Koopa himself. We see Sakaali just making good progress through World 5 at this point. Now the question is whether Sakaali is going to... What he's going to have to do with the brothers here. I didn't watch the brothers moving, but he is just putting them to sleep. His Dom box routing seems to be that he is just going to forego any additional P-Wings, and he will be doing something different in World 6 or 7. So I think Sakaali's probably going to play 6'10 rather than going for the wall jump for 6'9, but I could be wrong. Maybe he's a wall jumper. Anybody in chat know, is Sakaali a wall jumper or a 6'10 player? Because I don't predict that he will clip 7'6. I think he'll do his variation in World 6. So Sakaali taking intentional damage to make the clip easier. Small Mario gets this glitched pipe entry a little bit easier. A strategic move, but a dangerous one. Will he get it? 3rd try. Small Mario pays off. Ooh, meanwhile, we see Stu taking the elusive Secret Flower in 5-2. And powering back up. A rarely seen power-up in a speedrun there. Now, this is interesting because Sakaali is now powered all the way down. We're just going to have to see what his power-up situation is. He might grab a mushroom here. He does not. He is not powering up yet. 5.5 P speed is a little bit dangerous as Small Mario. Will he equip a star for 5.5 P speed? I don't know. I'm on the edge of my seat here. He does equip a star to try to get the 5.5 P speed. He gets it. We're also probably going to see him grab a mushroom here. Yeah, he's going to grab that mushroom. Doesn't lose P speed. Wow, well played, Sakaali. He clearly has routed this out. Never seen Sakaali play 6'10". We've got some people saying wall jump. We see Stu going for the clip here. Losing P speed. You definitely want P speed. Is he going to get it in the required number of clip attempts? He is moving on. Sakaali, meanwhile, got that secret star. You saw him take a star at the beginning and hit that kind of random block in the middle of the level that produced a star. You only get a star out of that block if you are currently in possession of star power. So that special star also worth a point in this tournament. There are other ways to do it, but the restrictions in this tournament mean that you have to do it by starting with a star at the beginning of the level. Now, Sakaali just going to be playing these levels in a pretty standard way until the end of the world. Fire kill on the World 5 boss, Roy Koopa, will also be a point in this tournament. Luckily for our runners, it is maybe the easiest boss to manip the pattern of to get an easy fire kill. So I'm sure Sakaali knows his Roy manips, he knows the patterns. Stewie coming for 5-5 P-speed now. He is unable to get it, so he is just moving through the level at standard running speed for the most part. And he's moving on. Yeah, Stewie just kind of running through the level. Away he goes. World 5 presents itself with a couple chances for upper deckers, particularly 5-7 as well as 5-8. It is possible to get an upper decker at the horizontal pipe at the end of the level. Stu looking pretty good for the secret star. He does get it. He grabs the star. I think he's going for an upper decker there, but he did not get it. So away he goes. And another throne jump for Sakaali. He is not mathematically out of throne jump contention yet. That is his third one. He needs to hit the final two in order to get a point. Stewie using some of those items that he pulled out of the spade card game earlier. Beginning to understand why he played the spade card game and stocked up his inventory a little bit. Not a bad play from our man Stu. One for a glitched pipe entry right there. Sadly, that one does not count for a point in this tournament, but it's a favorite of Stu's if you've ever seen him. He does like to do that one. Now, both players are going to have to power up to Fire Flower in the airship, which does affect the boss pattern. I predict that they know how to handle the delay before the boss fight to manipulate him correctly, given that additional power-up. And Stu not getting the upper decker there. I think that is the final chance for an upper decker. Sakaali waiting, but not getting the delay that I think he wanted. This is unfortunate. Struggling with the Roy fight, getting stun locked, taking damage, and not able to secure the point. Did get the pixel for the wall jump for the off-screen wand grab, but unable to jump at the correct frame. Not exactly what you want to see, but, you know, you live with what you get. It does not count. He did not kill Roy with fire. So if that's what you're referring to, Zach, no, that does not count. He has to hit Roy with 10 fireballs in order to get the fire kill. The glitched pipe point is only for the Twisty Castle in World 5. That is the only level that has a glitched pipe entry point this tournament. It's not just any glitched pipe entry, it's just that specific one. Sakaali going with an aggressive Hammer Brother kill there. Adjusting his points to avoid a coin chip here. Very smart. The next point we're going to be seeing on Sakaali's side is coming into the Boom Boom fight of 6'1". He is going to be trying to manipulate Boom Boom's movement so he drops through the floor and is able to stomp him while he's in the floor so he drops into the void and gets a glitched kill. Pretty good backup leaf strat there from Sakaali. Let's see how he sets up the Boom Boom kill as we're waiting for Stu to finish the airship here. Okay, Sakaali opting for a middle-of-the-screen Boom Boom kill. Pretty nice, and we see Stu getting the fire kill on Roy there. Stu may be having a little trouble with his points tracker? I'm not sure. Hopefully he's got it sorted out. Yeah, so it seems to be something the devs maybe knew would happen, so Boom Boom falls off the screen. You get that glitched kill. It's similar to the glitched kill when you get an overkill on a Boom Boom using Hammer Suit there. Now, Sakaali going to be trying to get out of here with a 389 on the pipe entry out of this level, getting the despawn. It looks like he was pretty quick. This should be all right. And indeed, he gets the 389 and the point. It's relatively tight there, but Sakaali, no stranger to the despawn strat in 6-5. Ooh, Sakaali getting some good bro movement luck here. He is going to be able to guarantee that he skips the unneeded bro carrying the star here. Stu coming up to the boom boom floor kill. Let's see how he sets it up. He does that. He does this. Ooh, a little bit of bad luck from Stu. Not quite positioned where he needed to be. The boom boom did not fly into the ground. It is a little bit touchy to get that boom boom to move exactly the way you want, and Stu just didn't quite have himself or the boom boom in the right spot. Not sure which. Maybe a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, but unable to get the point. Now, Sakaali coming up on the next point. 6-8. He needs to have a 293 or better at the end of this level, and I think you can't actually get a 294, so he needs a 293 on his in-game timer. Takes damage there. Ooh, a little extra downhill run to help secure that time. Good idea. For those of you who don't know, Mario does run slightly faster downhill. Stu going for the squirrel kick strat. Now, it is possible to get this point with the squirrel kick. It's a little bit tighter. He does not quite get there in time. Sakaali with the wall jump, no problem. And away he goes. So Sakaali's short a P-wing compared to some routes, and he is, but he's no stranger to doing a wall jump under pressure. There he goes. Makes this fort just a little bit less safe, but not the biggest deal. Now, he's going to try to get a one-frame jump in the air. Does not get the one-framer through the door. That is, of course, worth a point in this points tournament, but he is unable to get that point, so he will just be moving on to the boom boom fight. Pretty standard kill here. But as you can see, Sakaali racking up the points at 17 points here to Stewie's 10. There is a reason why Sakaali has the highest points total of any particular run in the tournament. He is extremely consistent at some of these very difficult tricks, and that's, you see him accumulating the points relatively quickly here. Now, Stu coming through, looks like he's good for the 293. He gets the point, and he will add that to his tracker as well. Now, Stu does have a P-wing, so he is not forced to wall jump this level. He just grabs the P-wing out of his inventory, flies over, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Sakaali's going to power up in the airship here because we are also looking at a point for the 7-1 clip. Now, any Warpless run that you've seen probably has the 7-1 clip in it, but they get 3 attempts to do it. If you do it in 3 or less, you get a point. Stu does not get the one-frame jump in the fort either. He's got these ghosts in kind of an awkward position here. Ooh, I was a little worried Stu was going to take damage off of one of those ghosts, but he's good to go. Now, we've seen Sakaali do some nips on sub-pixels already, I think. Let's see what he does here for the Iggy fight. Looks like he was doing a manip to the right, which means he's going to be trying a duck clip in the next level. So his first clip attempt will be a duck clip. He'll probably switch to standing clip if he doesn't get it first try. But like I said, he's got 3 attempts at the clip in 7-1 to get the point. Even if he doesn't get the point, he'll continue trying to clip because it is faster than playing the level. No ducks. Wow, so that's the first time I have ever seen someone, he manips to the right and then does standing clip? That's wild stuff. That is wild stuff. So, Sakaali coming into 7-2. Looks like he's going for fast 7-2 here. It's a challenging strat. He does get the P-speed. Now he's going to be trying to clip through this big wall here. First try, no problem at all. Sakaali has got his clips on lock at the moment. He is moving and grooving. And we see Stewie nipping to the right as well. Very interesting. If he goes for standing clip right here, I don't even know what to think. Can anyone explain to me the nipping to the right and then going for standing clip? That is news to me. And we'll see Sakaali coming here to a pretty easy string of levels. We've got, you cloud a level, you use a couple of P-wings, Stu goes for duck clip, he gets it, there's the point. That's what I thought Sakaali was going to do. Nipping to the right typically means someone's going for a duck clip, but there you have it. Sakaali is just too goated with the sauce. He can manip in any direction and get any clip at any time, apparently. So Stu going for a not as quite a difficult strat as what Sakaali did in this level, using a star to build P-speed. And he is also going to be trying to clip this downstairs clip. He gets 3 chances again. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. He gets the point. He gets the clip. There you go. Very nice, Stu. Very nice. Next point. Players are going to be collecting the hammer suit in 7-8 in the secret area of 7-8. To get the point, they need to carry this very hammer suit, not some other hammer suit, to the end of 7-4-2 and defeat the Boom Boom with it. So, Sakaali doing a good job grabbing the suit while keeping P-speed there. Let's see how he handles the end of the level. You know, I can tell he has played this before. Seems like Sakaali is familiar with this game. Now the question is he going to do 7-9? No, he is clouding 7-9 and he is playing the fort. Stu coming up on that string of relatively easy levels. And Sakaali working his way through the fort with hammer. These are the kind of high-level hammer speed strats that you see of a high-level player who finishes the game using hammer suit. A little trouble with P-speed there, but he gets through it. He knows what he's doing. And he melts the Boom Boom with the hammer. So I think he had intended to keep P-speed there, but just had a little bit of a struggle with it and decided to play it safe, make it through cleanly. He gets a throne jump. And that... Was that his 4th throne jump then? I saw him toggling it. I didn't see if he got one in World 6. So, he's got his hammer suit though. He's moving on. Stu coming into 7-8. Also, going to be grabbing this hammer suit in all likelihood. And trying to get through to the end of the fort with hammer suit still intact to get that point. No jump in World 6 I'm seeing in chat. So, sadly, Sakaali will be... stuck at 4 throne jumps, not able to get the point. Still racking up a fair number of points here, and Stu also making it through the level nice and clean with the hammer suit. You love to see it. Stu stopping in a mushroom house to grab maybe. There's a 1 in 3 chance of a hammer suit here. He gets the Tanuki. This is your last stop for a safety hammer suit. And he's going into 7-9, so we'll be seeing Stu going for some clips here. Gonna save his cloud for later. There's second try is not too bad. Let's see how many clips he tries. Some people will bail after 2 clips. Is Stu going for all 4? No, he is bailing after 2 clips and then going for mid-clip. And bailing after 1 attempt on mid-clip. So, not too bad on the clip attempts, but this is more of a safety strat than anything. I think the logic with this is that if you were to die in 7-4-2 after clouding 7-9, you would be put back on the other side of 7-9. So if in the off chance Stu dies in this fort, he will not have to play an additional level. Sakaali, meanwhile, clouded it, and so we have a slight discrepancy in the timing here, because Sakaali will not be able to cloud a level in World 8, whereas Stu still has his Juggum's Cloud, and will cloud something in World 8. Stu also keeping a pretty good P-speed there, did not get the Kobe snipe, but he does kill the Boom Boom with the hammers and accumulates that point. And Stu moving on to the World 7 airship. Gets a throne jump there, but, you know, too little, too late. Our runner's not able to get the requisite number of throne jumps to get a point. Now, I think we're going to see both players attempting to just hold hammer suit for the entirety of the run here. These are some high-level runners with some high-level hammer strats. So boys are going to be trying to keep this hammer suit because it really makes the Bowser kill fast. I mean, I cannot overstate how much faster the Bowser kill is with hammer suit. Also saves just a little bit of time in a couple other places. Boom Boom kills, notably, are slightly faster with the hammer suit. And 8-2 is also slightly faster with the hammer suit. So we are in auto-scroller lane for a little while. We are going to see both our players playing auto-scrollers for the next couple of minutes. Probably see Sakaali doing some D-lag strats here on his side, and Stu just trying to, you know, jump from platform to platform in a reasonable way and make it to the end of the level. The next point we are going to see from our players are the hand stages. To get the point in the hand stages here, all you have to do is play 2 or more of the hands, either 2 hands or 3 hands without dying. So if you can make it through the hands without dying, you get a point. And I think, you know, they're not totally free. There are some things that can go wrong in the hands, but that's a point you're probably going to see, unless, you know, the biggest thing that can happen is that the fish in hand 3 can eat your jump and kind of bone you. They can be trolly like that. See Sakaali entering the Navy, and Stu nearing the end of the World 7 airship, coming into the Ludwig fight. Clean stomp, grabbing the wand, and away we go. Now, in my opinion, hand 1 is the worst hand to play. So what I want in my races is I skip first hand, and then I'm able to play hands 2 and 3. That is my preferred 2-hand routing to get. But as we know, hand 1 will pull you in about 99% of the time when you're having a good run. So I would say, look to see hand 1 make an appearance here. If I had to predict it, hand 1's coming for you. But Sakaali will get a little break from the auto-scrollers here for a moment when he gets to the hands before playing the airship. And we'll see Stu in auto-scrollers for a couple of minutes yet. And you can see how that hammer just melts the boom boom in the fight there. That is a little bit quicker than fire, and is one of the reasons having hammer makes the end of the game routing a little bit faster. Let's see what Sakaali gets for hands. Ooh, he skips hand 1 and is able to enter hand 2. This is an ideal scenario for Sakaali here. This is what you want. Just getting past that somewhat jank hand and playing a slightly less jank hand in the end. And Sakaali knowing exactly where to jump to maintain great P-speed with no turnbacks here. A good hand 3 from Sakaali as he collects a leaf that he hopefully doesn't need to use. He'll be entering the airship here shortly. And really, you know, he wants to maintain this hammer, particularly for the points, because the next point is playing 8-1. And you need to have a 289 or better on your in-game timer at the end of that level. And the best way to do that is to build P-speed as early as possible, and you need a projectile to take care of a pesky turtle is the easiest way to build that P-speed. So the hammer here comes in really handy for that point, and you're going to see him want to keep it. I did manage to get it with a leaf double damage boost strat in a race of mine in the tournament, but that is risky, not advisable, and I mean, you got to go for it for the point, but I wouldn't suggest anybody rely on that strat too heavily. It was pretty nerve-wracking to try to pull off. So Sakaali coming into 8-1. Now, he's not quite as far ahead as it seems because Stu does still have that cloud. Let's see how he handles 8-1, if he's able to build this early P-speed. And he gets the P-speed. He's maintaining it. And he's looking pretty good. He's looking pretty good on 8-1 here. 290 on the in-game timer. Ideal for that situation. Nets the point, no problem. We'll see him in 8-2. This is another level, slightly faster with the hammer suit. Mostly due to being able to go up this next big hill with the piranha plants without doing any turnbacks. The hammers, of course, carry Mario's momentum, and he's able to just throw him ahead of himself there and move along home. Stu coming to the hands now. We'll see how the hands treat him. Next point on Sakaali's side is a jump off of a P-switch in the room after the conveyor belt. So he's in the conveyor belts here, going for conveyor P-speed. He gets conveyor P-speed. Will he get the P-switch jump? He gets the yump. And he yumps his way across this area and has really done a great job accumulating points here. Stu, meanwhile, playing hand 3. And, yep, going under the walls there, but playing it pretty expertly, maintaining P-speed throughout and coming along. Sakaali entering the last screen of the World 8 map and heading into an auto-scroller, while we have Stu on the airship in a similar position, wanting to hold on to this hammer in his greatest hopes of getting that 8-1 P-speed easily and not having to do anything too jank to try to accomplish it. So again, we've got both of our runners in auto-scrollers, a pretty common occurrence in a reasonably close race. Once you get to World 8, you're going to see just both players in auto-scrollers a lot. There's not much speed tech here, just making sure you know your spots, you know your jumps, predicting where the enemies are going to be, and, you know, TCB, as they say, taking care of business. Stewie melting a boom boom on his screen. And Sakaali coming up to the end. We're going to see him enter Bowser's Castle pretty shortly. Let's see how Stu does in 8-1. He is going to be doing basically what Sakaali did, or attempting to do so. Pretty similar setup if he gets the P-Speed here. Ooh, he doesn't go for that P-Speed. Still possible to get without getting that earliest P-Speed. He's looking okay. He does get the point. Now, Sakaali going to be trying to clip here. This clip above this donut block also worth a point. You get 3 chances, and he pulls it off. Stair clip achieved by Sakaali. The man cannot be stopped today. He really can't be stopped with the clips. And we see Stu using the cloud and making up a little bit of that time headed into the fort. Now, of course, Sakaali already has a lead. Throne room P-Speed maintained. He is making it into Bowser's room unscathed. Stu, no P-switch jump for Stu. Sakaali trivializing Bowser with the hammers there. A clean run all around. Accumulated quite a few points here, and you know, a low 53 is really a pretty good time given going for all of these strats. GG's to Sakaali. Gets the stair clip, he gets the first place, accumulates 27 points, like a massive showing. 27 points. I can't overstate how good of a showing 27 points really is, and it's not even Sakaali's best showing. His best showing was a 30. So outstanding from our man Sakaali there with 27. And we'll see Stu finishing out his run. You know, you hope to finish strong. Honestly, 16 points right here is also no joke. 16 points is not a bad score. But when you're coming up against an absolute juggernaut in a points tournament like this, sadly, 16 points is not going to be enough. So, you know, a good showing all in all. And there's still more points available to Stu here. He can still get that clip point and end with 17. You know, I won a match with 17 points myself. It is, you know, that's a winning score in some situations, but it is not going to hold up to the unstoppable point accumulator that is Sakaali. Okay, Stu getting the clip, finishing with a very respectable 17 points here. Still has to close out the level. Let's see how he handles it. You always want to finish strong, no matter what. He's going for a clip that I think you see people do in rando sometimes. Skips the throne room, and I think that throne room is kind of nasty in the rando, so people just don't want to play it. And it takes you right to Bowser, so he's about to finish off Bowser with a couple of well-placed hammers, and there he goes. GG Stewie. And we have Sakaali joining us in the chat. GG Sakaali, well played.
Thank you. Pretty smooth run, I would say. I don't think I missed any easy points, so except for Roy Fire Deal, I guess. But,
yeah, it was you caught a little off guard. I have found the Roy Fire kill, the manip can be a little trickier in this because your inventory's a little bit off, and the way you play the bros can be a little bit different. In addition, you had to power up there, right? So, yeah, aside from the Roy Fire kill, though, very well done.
Yeah, I thought my manip was good for Roy, but apparently it wasn't, so I was a bit surprised for the bad pattern, but yeah. It's fine. And 4 throne jumps, that's kinda sad.
I know, I mean, when you got the first 2, I'm thinking this guy is on point. He only needs to get a couple more in the next 2 worlds, and he's got to be feeling pretty good. But just a little bit of a struggle hitting some of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And we are welcoming Stu Cartman into the booth here. GG, Stewie, you know, 17 points, not a bad score, obviously, but 27 points, kind of an outlandish number of scores to try to beat.
I knew it was an uphill battle, so I was just playing the game.
Well, you know, it was good to watch. I mean, you pulled out some of the challenging points, and you kept it, you know, a little bit close initially, but it is really hard. I mean, no one else is really getting up into these high 27 point ranges. So
I knew I was not getting that.
now I had a question for you, Sakaali. Were you doing a sub-pixel manip for the upper decker in 4-1? Was that what I was watching there?
No, that was just luck. So.
Oh, okay, because it looked like you did some funny stuff, and then, yeah, I don't know. I was not even sure what was going on there.
I can't imagine there's a way to.
Lucky. Yeah.
I can't imagine there's a way to manipulate for an upper decker.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea if there is or not, but probably not.
It is a level where you don't do a turn back, so I thought maybe it was conceivable, but yeah, exciting to see.
I think if there's duck jumps in the level, then that still might mess with the subpixels.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, so I do think, as Sakaali said, I think he only missed 8 difficult points. I mean, one frame jumps and the backward slide, which is one of the more challenging full level strats to pull off in this.
I've never even tried that, so I just decided to skip that one completely.
I did notice you opted to just skip a couple of points completely, which is reasonable. The 4-1-ups, it's pretty easy to take damage there, so that one I kind of understood why you might want to skip it and just keep fire.
And then I didn't really read about that point, whether or not there was a way to somewhat cheese that point. And like I thought about it, and I was like, no, there's probably not.
From my experience, you can't really cheese it. You've got to. The timing is also relatively tight. You kind of just have to get it.
Yeah, I think it's one of the toughest points in the whole palette.
Yeah, and I mean, I know people were having a good time watching. Some exciting stuff happened here. And, you know, a little bit of memeing from you guys, but all in all, a very solid race. A little bit of memeing.
So, one thing I do want to point out, because I don't know what happened. So, on the World 4 airship, I took damage, near the end of it. And that was just from not paying attention at all to where I was in the ship. I completely forgot where I was, and then I was like, all right, I got enough time to change my song on Spotify. I got enough time, and then next thing I know, I hear my headset, I take damage, and I'm like, wait, what?
I did mention that, and this, you can blame that one on me, that the biggest risk in a long auto-scroller like that is getting a little bit bored and not paying attention to what you're doing.
I just zoned out.
I think it's happened to everybody in the World 4 airship at some point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, any other thoughts on your runs, you guys? I mean, really, this is both of your last matchup in the group stage, is that correct?
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, and Sakaali, you have punched your ticket into the bracket stage by a pretty wide margin, I think securing your place with a bye round in the first round. So you will not be playing in the first round of brackets, but making it directly into the semifinals instead.
Yeah, I think so. There might still be a possibility for Teeks to get more points. I'm not too sure, but if he plays like a perfect match in his last match, but at least I should be a number 1 or number 2 for the bracket stage. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, congratulations. That buy round, very, very valuable. People may not know there are some good prizes on the line here for our runners. And so a valuable free pass into the semifinals is a nice thing to have. Trying to secure those 5 emotes, and there are some cash prizes on the line as well. Now, Stu, sadly, I think with this performance, you have eliminated yourself from the possibility of brackets.
Yeah, I think this is the end of the road for me. I'm almost certain.
Well, did you have fun in the tournament at least? I mean, I've had a blast.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, at least everybody's having a good time. It has been fun to see a points tournament come around after a few years without one. So this has been, fun to see people learning some jank tricks and, trying to get good at silly things.
All I gotta say is, where's that 7-1 during PV attempts? Because that's twice in a row I've gotten it first try in this.
Oh yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say you hit that like 90% of the time based on what I've seen so far in the tournament.
Yeah.
And Sakaali, I saw you, now this confused me a little bit, speaking of 7-1, you were manipping to the right and then went for a standing clip. Can you explain how that works?
Yeah, I was trying to get the sub-pixel for the rubbing the pipe strat, but I didn't see a movement from Mario, so I knew that I must have been on a really high sub-pixel, but I wasn't totally sure. I could have been on 13 or 12 as well, but yeah.
I see. That makes a lot of sense. So you want kind of a lowish sub-pixel for the rub, and that's what you were going for? I see.
Yeah.
I see. That makes a lot of sense.
From what I remember for the rub, I think it's 0 through 6 you want for the Louis rub.
Okay, because I was
Unless there's more that work that I don't remember.
It just seemed like total madness to manip to the right and then get standing clip first try. I don't think I've seen that before. That was I was like, if anyone in chat can explain this to me, please do, because I could not figure it out. But yeah, no, that makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah, I was a bit lucky there, definitely. But yeah, I knew that it had to be a really high sub-pixel, but could have been 13 as well. So I was lucky there.
Yeah, good adjustment. Play the odds, and sometimes the luck works out for you.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys have any other final thoughts here for the crowd before we kind of sign off?
GG's again, and just looking forward to watching the rest of this.
Yeah, GG's. I basically have nothing to say anymore. I'm just waiting for the playoffs now.
Excellent.
The hunt to the postseason.
Well, we do have a couple more matchups coming up this week. This evening at 6:15 Eastern, we've got Popitate 7 versus True Hyper Mario with Ethan and Jahaley on comms. That should be a fun one.
Oh, that's a fun commentary crew right there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a blast. And then on Saturday, we've got, I believe the final Group C matchup, which is the group I'm part of, is Mondi versus Icaros with Bagler and Yadokami doing comms on that. Another great comms matchup and another great set of runners. So a couple more races coming up this week to kind of start wrapping up the group phase. We do not have any of the brackets phase scheduled yet. We've got to see how all these group matches shake out before we really know what's going on there.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank the fans for coming to watch. Obviously the tournament's a lot more fun when you got people watching and cheering you on. And thanks to SpeedGaming for all their help, and the technical setup has been invaluable. And all the great runners we've seen, everybody who signed up to do comms, and Gungeon Lover for hosting this. Without the team effort, the tournament wouldn't happen. So thanks everybody who's been participating. It has been just a ton of fun to do comms and to do some races. And with that, I think we are going to end this broadcast. Thanks again, Sakaali and Stewie, and I will catch everybody later. Thanks, folks.
Yep.